You've probably heard this scary stats, right? That a huge chunk of new businesses just don't make it past the first few years. And we all have our theories. It must be a bad idea, or maybe they ran out of cash, or the competition was just too tough. But what if I told you the #1 reason they fail is way simpler and honestly a lot more common? All right, let's get into it.
Here's the crazy part. The real killer often isn't a bad idea. Nope. The business concept could be absolutely brilliant. And get this, it's often not even a lack of customers. The phone might be ringing, you might be busy, but there's something seriously wrong happening just beneath the surface.
The real problem is this silent little habit that could totally cripple even the most amazing businesses. It's a habit that makes you rely on hope instead of strategy, and it swaps out clarity for just confusion. But the good news? Every single business owner has the power to fix it, like starting right now.
So here it is, side by side. On one hand, you have what we think are the reasons: bad ideas, not enough customers, maybe people just aren't working hard enough. But the real reason, the one that data points to, it's just not tracking your numbers. Simple as that.
See, when you don't track your numbers, you fall into this trap called guesswork. This is where you're running your business based on a gut feeling. You know, I feel like our Facebook ads are working, or I think we're making a profit on that product. It's like you're trying to navigate a maze with a blindfold on. It is incredibly risky.
So what's the big deal? What's the real cost of all this guesswork? Well, let's take a look at why flying blind like this pretty much guarantees instability and chaos.
First off, your pricing. It becomes a total shot in the dark. I mean, you could be selling 100 coffees an hour, but if you don't know the exact cost of the cup, the lid, the coffee, the milk, the sugar, you could literally be losing money on every single sale. You're busy, for sure, but you're also going broke. And then there's your marketing. You're throwing money at Google ads, you're printing flyers, you're posting on social media, but which one is actually bringing in customers? If you're not tracking it, you have no idea. You're basically just setting a pile of cash on fire and hoping the smoke signals attract someone.
And all of this, it leads to the biggest nightmare for any business owner. Cash flow, that's all over the place. You know that feeling, right? That roller coaster where one month you feel like you're on top of the world and the next you're not sure how you're going to make payroll. Without data, you just can't see those dips in the road ahead.
And listen, this isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. This is a human problem. It takes a huge emotional toll. The person running the show, maybe that's you, is just left feeling completely stressed out and overwhelmed, constantly reacting to problems instead of building a future.
And that's the real tragedy here. The business just stagnates. It fizzles out. Not because the idea was bad, and not because the people didn't work their tails off. It's because the business was basically suffocated by a total lack of clarity. All that potential just got lost in the fog.
Okay, but enough of the doom and gloom, because there is an incredibly powerful antidote to all this chaos. We can fight back, and we do that by finding clarity in the numbers. This is how you take back control.
This right here is the big mindset shift. Tracking isn't some boring chore your accountant makes you do. It's about turning all that frantic, random effort into sharp, strategic action. Every move you make becomes intentional because it's backed by real information.
And what do you get from all this clarity? One word: control. All of a sudden, you're in the driver's seat. You have control over your revenue. You know your expense patterns. You can finally predict your cash flow. You know exactly which marketing brings in the leads and what your real profit margins are. You're not just a passenger hoping for the best anymore. And please don't get intimidated by this. You do not need some fancy, expensive, complicated piece of software to make this happen. Seriously, all you need is a super simple, repeatable system that you can actually stick with week after week.
So what's this simple system look like? Well, it really just boils down to mastering just six key numbers that tell you the whole story of how your business is doing.
And here they are. That's it. Let's break them down real quick. The first two are all about your money. Weekly revenue coming in, weekly expenses going out. Easy. The next three are about your customers. How many leads are you getting? How many of those actually turn into a sale? And where do they even come from? And finally, the big one, your monthly cash flow. That's like the ultimate health report for your business. That's really all you need to get started.
Once you have this data, it becomes your secret weapon. It's like an early warning system that flags little problems before they become massive disasters. And, maybe even more exciting, it shines a spotlight on hidden opportunities for growth that you were completely blind to before. When you really lean into this system, you completely change the story of your business. You stop operating in survival mode, just trying to make it to the next month, and you start building a real foundation for confident, scalable growth.
And this is the path. It's a clear, logical progression. It all starts with tracking. That tracking creates predictability. Once you have predictability, you create stability. And only, and I mean only, a stable business can ever truly scale. You go from chaos to confidence.
You know, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one powerful idea. Success isn't just about grinding and working hard. It's about working smart. It's about working with clarity.
So that leaves us with one final, really important question for you. This whole journey starts with just one small step. So looking at your business right now, what's the first number you're going to track this week?